This is another episode of our deep dive series that we're doing of videos to help people out of state, out of the country, understand the Metro Detroit market, how it all navigates, plus the city of Detroit neighborhoods. Today we're in Clair Shores, a bedroom community of Metro Detroit. It's just north of Detroit, right on the water. So if you look behind me over here, you can see the nautical mile sign, because starting from here, this is 9 Mile in Jefferson, and going a mile that direction, overall here is mostly marinas. You can, ton of boats here. There's probably $1 billion, I'm not kidding, worth of boats here. And if you go beyond that, it gets more residential. South of here, it's also residential. By the way, it's not summer in Michigan without our infamous construction, which is going on behind us. And yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing totally, but go over some facts about Clair Shores. You can, became a village in 1925, became a city in 1951. There's about 58,000 people live here. Average household income is about $74,000. This is once swampland, all settled by the French settlers. It's called L'Anse Creuse. There's actually a L'Anse Creuse High School north of here at Clair Shores. And L'Anse Creuse is French for hollow cove. I'm assuming they meant a cove in the lake over there or something. I'm not sure where the hollow part comes in necessarily. Now it's called the Gateway to the Great Lakes, or the boating capital of Michigan. And it's known for, again, Lake St. Clair access over there, the nautical mile and stuff like that. Average sales price in the city right now is about $234,000 with 211 active listings. Average rent is $1,581. There's 42 listings available for rent right now. A lot of them are apartments. People like to be near the water, the lake. Sale prices range right now from $40,000, which got to be a lot, up to $424,000. And the rent range goes from $949 all the way up to $2,700. Pretty sure that's going to be one of the condos that overlook, high-rise condos that overlook the water and stuff like that. So again, you can still get some 1% deals here. It's a Class B and A city. Not really a lot of C, or definitely no D here, but A and B mix, depending on where you're at. As you go further away from the water, the prices obviously drop. But a lot of people still like to be able to live here because there's a couple beaches actually that you have access to if you're a resident of the city. So now let's go look at some examples of some rentals and houses and such. All right, we're in Clair Shores. We're at a rental property, a property for sale, to see if it makes sense to buy it and purchase it and stuff like that. So we're at 22715 California Street, and it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, just under 800 square foot ranch. Not sure if it has a basement. Let's see what we got here. It says a finished basement, turnkey and tenant ready. Ideal for investors seeking minimal maintenance and full market rent returns. So again, the market rent is $1,547, giving it a rent to price ratio of 1.1. So if you look at it, it does look pretty nice. It could use the roof, although tenant's not really going to care about roof. The chimney's leaning a little bit, but it's got a little curb appeal there. No garage, but it looks like a shed in the back there. So I just question the $1,547 rent amount that Zillow's estimating. But if it's got a finished basement, depending on exactly what's down there, hopefully a second bathroom or half bath or something, that could be attainable. So it's right around, even if the rent's a little bit lower, it'll still basically hit the 1.0. And again, this is going to be Class A or B type of tenants you're going to get here, or should get here, with some good screening. And yeah, it could be a great opportunity for only $135,000. All right. If Clair Shores headed downtown, this would probably be it. We're in Greater Mac, just south of 9 Mile over there. And if you see right here, we've got the Copper Stop. We've got a couple other restaurants over there. Here, they're going to be opening a children's shop. We come over here. We've got over here, we've got Cachet, cocktail and wine bar. I don't know what, Rondo, something else. And, a bunch of other shops right here. So it's a nice little area right here. You could park and you could go do a bunch of things. We got construction going on right here, obviously. But this is the downtown. I mean, the community's pretty tight around here. It's, the population really swelled after World War II. And prior to that, this place was actually, as you can imagine, because the water's right over here, more of a cottage area. But after World War II, it exploded in popularity and they started building all the ranches and bungalows and stuff like that. Let's go look at some more houses. All right, we're at 21615 Ridgeway Street in St. Clair Shores. Another property for sale at 155. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, about 1,150 square feet. Doesn't really say if it has a basement, doesn't look like it. Could rent for about $2,000, so the rent to price ratio could be just over 1.1 or 1.2. But, you know, again, got to be careful with these rents from Zillow. I'm looking at this, it's just a ranch, you know, 3 bedroom, no basement, depending on how nice it is. I don't know if you'd be able to get $2,000 a month for that. So, but again, it's a good 1.0, it's got a garage. Let's go look at another one. All right, we're still in St. Clair Shores. We're at 30237 Taylor Street. We're at the north end of St. Clair Shores, north of 12 Mile. You look around, these are all brick ranches, probably built in the same time in the 50s, maybe early 60s. And this house over here is occupied currently, but it is for sale for $244,000. It states here that it's 2,000 square feet. I know it's not 2,000 square feet. This is about a 12, maybe 1,300 square foot ranch. I'm assuming the agent that listed it included the finished basement in that square footage, which kind of throws some of the other numbers off because it also says the rent estimate's about $2,055, although we just looked at another property that was smaller that was also pushing $2,000 a month for rent. So it's possible the rent to price ratio on this one is under 1.0, it's 0.8. But, you know, it's a trade-off. There could be better appreciation here because this is definitely more of an A-type neighborhood than the other B stuff. It is further away from the water, though the lake is that way. But it's further away from the downtown nautical mile and everything like that. But there are many opportunities here in St. Clair Shores if you're looking for a solid class B+, B, A- area to invest in and get a little bit less headache with better tenants. So now our team's going to do some facts. All right, we're in St. Clair Shores at Mike's, the famous Mike's on the water here. And it's been an icon here for decades. If you're ever in St. Clair Shores, recommend that you pop in here. It's not super fancy, but it's known for being right here on the water. You know, it's canal. Back that way is Lake St. Clair. But the boats pull in here. People come in, get a sandwich, a burger, some shrimp. They famous for their lobster roll. And then on the weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they'll have a band often over there on the outside. Over here to my left is another place, bar and grill, that's more of a nightclub. And people come here again, drive their boats here, have a good time, or their cars and everything, cover charge, more of a DJ type of an atmosphere. But there's a bunch of marinas, again, up and down here. And many of them also have restaurants, especially during the summer, they can make a lot of money. So owe it to yourself, if you come here, try to stop at one of these places.